Welcome! I don't have enough time to say a word, and I already get another random encounter. Well, I guess you can say this is the price to pay for running through tall grass, because, yes, as most people know, in this game, when you run through tall grass, you increase the encounter rate. Don't know why they decided to do that so late into the series, and to be honest, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know if that's still the case in black and white, or if it's just that the encounter rate is absurdly high there, no matter what you're doing. But, yeah, still have no idea why they decided to do it, but just thought that I'd have to inform you of this, since I know people might be suspicious of something going on, but they're not really convinced. I'm telling you right now, this is the truth. When you run through tall grass, there are going to be a lot more random encounters. And here we have two trainers blocking the way, one fighting with a Rattata and one fighting with a Pidgey. The one with the Rattata is probably the best known random trainer in the entire series. But I'm not going to get into that until I actually get to fight him, which will be, well, in one or two videos, I guess. But yeah, back to this running through tall grass thing. You may be wondering why I am actually running through tall grass, even though I know it increases the encounter rate. Well, you guessed it. If you've been following me for any length of time, then you know that I like beefing my Pokemon up as much as possible without resorting to any grinding. So this is one little side effect of that, and there's also a pretty good reason for that, which isn't only in terms of my own policies, but rather it's a result of my plans, my overall plans for my team in this LP. And no, I'm not gonna say what they are quite yet, because I'm gonna need a fair bit of time to make sure to explain everything. So, please, if you can stop the needless annoying spam about what your team's gonna be, it would be very much appreciated, because this is part 3. I've uploaded 2 parts before this one, obviously, simple math, and, I've already gotten several of these stupidly annoying comments. I got so much of them, and we're only 3 parts in, that I'm already really tired of this, so don't worry. When I have enough time to explain everything that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it. So, for now, just cut the spam, and everything's gonna be alright. But for now, everything's under control, I know where I'm going, and Chikorita, fortunately, is already at level 8. I'm not gonna need to grind it to get there, because usually I'll try to have my starter at level 8 when doing the first Silver battle. It's especially beneficial when using Chikorita in Gold, Silver, Crystal, since that's the level where it learns Razor Leaf. But even here, I can use the extra stat points to help me dispose of Silver better. And Pink Apricorn. So, well, we got another Apricorn, but once again, we can't do anything with these yet. So, this is Mr. Pokemon's house. This is as far as we can go for the time being, so, because of those 2 trainers blocking the way from earlier on. And, yeah, basically, Mr. Pokemon's aware that Professor Elm sent me here. And, basically, this is pretty much the same thing it was in Gold, Silver, Crystal. He's giving me the mystery egg to give back to Professor Elm. It's a Togepi egg, by the way, just so that you know it's going to pop up later on in the story, even after I entrust it to Professor Elm. Yeah, he's the best when it comes to the research of Pokemon evolution. That's a quote from the famous Professor Oak, and how funny. He's right here, and we're totally ignoring him. The biggest monument in Pokemon, and he's getting totally ignored. So, now he decides to chime in. And there's a very good reason why the story dictates that he should be here. See that missing slot in the menu? Well, there are 2 of them, but one of them is meant to be empty since there are only 7 options. But the other one, it's for the Pokédex, and basically Professor Oak is seeing that I'm helping with Professor Elm's research, and that, oh my god, since you're helping Professor Elm, you must be an awesome trainer, so here, I'll give you my Pokédex. So, yeah, basically that's why he's here. He's going to give us the Pokédex, which, as usual, in case this is your first Slowflake Pokemon LP, I'm not going to bother filling it up at all, since it would take absolutely forever. I'm only going to catch what I need, whether it's HM slaves, or team members, or stuff that I need for breeding. Yeah, spoilers. I'm going to do some breeding for one team member in particular. I'm gonna tell you what it is later when I get there. Yeah, cliffhanger. Everybody loves them. But yeah, having you go back and forth. Well, the story's gonna redirect me to Professor Elm's lab anyway. Oh, right on cue. I was about to explain why, but looks like Professor Elm is going to do it for me. Actually, no, he doesn't get into detail as to what happened, but basically, remember when Silver was peeking through, Professor Elm's window? Well, it was because he planned to steal a Pokemon, and since I picked Chikorita, that means he picked the starter that's strong against it, which is Cyndaquil. Which, oddly enough, was my own starter in my Crystal LP. Some people have wondered why I picked Chikorita instead of one of the other two. Some people see it as proof that I'm going to ditch my starter, since it's the worst of the three. Others see it as proof that I will not ditch my starter, because I already have a fire type and a water type planned. So which one is it? For the time being, I have no idea. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. Plan A has Chikorita being ditched rather early on for a Trade Evolution Pokemon. Okay, cut the spam. I'm going to tell you which one it is. It's Gengar. Again, thank you very much. It's going to come back for a third LP if everything goes right. But if I can't get everything to work out, then I was looking over what I wanted to use, and I could use Meganium to round out my team just as nicely. Well, not quite as nicely, because it is Plan B. Oh, Poison Powder. Well, that's going to be useful for the upcoming battle. But, yeah, as far as what I'm planning to do for getting a Gengar goes, I'm not going to bring that up quite yet, so once again, you can cut the spam. I'm going to explain everything in due time. Sorry about that little slip-up. So, now it's a good time to heal my Pokemon, even though it's not too injured, because the second that I'm going to take a step on Route 29, Silver is going to appear. So that's where we're headed right now, and do I want to use Poison Powder at the beginning? It has 75 accuracy, but what the hell, I'm gonna try it just for fun. It's not like I'm in any danger of losing, because his Cyndaquil doesn't have Ember yet, or any fire move for that matter, but too good for a wimp like you. Did you just call Chikorita good? Because, we're not having quite the same definition of good. Unless he means I'm so bad that I make Chikorita look good, well, for that, you're going to pay! And the game refers to him as Passerby Boy instead of the classic 3 question marks. Chikorita used Poison Powder, and it connects. So, let's see just how much damage it's going to do with Tackle. Okay, 3 damage. That is definitely not a lot. I did just as much with just Poison Powder, and now here comes Razor Leaf. As I said, even resisted, it does more damage when stat than just a regular old Tackle. And Leer lowers my defense, but doesn't really matter, because Poison's lowering his health. You're doing okay for someone weak. Well, doesn't that mean that I'm not weak, then? I swear, this guy, really weird. And, you know, they sort of missed an opportunity to do something really hilarious. You know, in Gold, Silver, Crystal, he says, I am 3 question marks. Here he should have said, I am Passerby Boy, just to strike terror in you. Do you want to know who I am? I am a monster. Coach. Okay, I really had to make that reference again, and I promise I won't do it anymore. Which is Slowflake speak for, I'm gonna do it 100 more times before this LP's over. And oh, you snatch his trainer card in this version of the story, so that's basically how you're supposed to learn Silver's name. even though you don't see it, that's because, well, the game wants you to keep your options open to name him whatever you want. I guess I could name him M-Coach just for kicks, but no. I prefer calling characters whatever their names, in not just Pokemon, but all RPGs. Well, except for Pokemon main characters, obviously, since you've been staring at my name ever since part 1 of the Red LP. Well, it's not my name, as I've said several times, but I'm not about to bring that up again because I've already said 100 times that it was not my real name, but close enough at the same time. But something that I wanted to point out, totally unrelated, but whatever, gonna point it out anyway. Remember back when I was coming out of Stark Mountain, and I said basically something to the effect of, I'm using a 6 legendary team, but I don't give a flying fuck if you think I'm unprofessional or making the game too easy for myself or whatever. They're strong, they're available, I'm gonna use them. And ever since then, it seems like I've gotten an increase in comments telling me that, could you please not use so many legendaries or something like that? Come on, it's been only a few weeks since I said I didn't give a rat's ass about whether something was legendary or not. All it needs, if it's strong enough, I'll use it. Otherwise, it's in the PC box or I don't catch it at all. So, yeah, what the hell? Something that I forgot to do on my first time through town is to visit Professor Allen's house, which is on the 2nd floor of his lab. There's really nothing to do, but actually I only got one comment telling me that I forgot to come here, so I guess you're making progress, sort of, sometimes, on specific subjects that don't pertain to my team, whatever. We just made it to Professor Allen's lab, and basically he's telling me that, they're investigating the case of the missing Cyndaquil. This doesn't look good. Oh, but here's Lyra to the rescue. Well, basically they had to make her do something in this game since she'd be totally unnecessary otherwise. So that was the reason for why the policeman had his doubts over me, even though there was no such thing in Gold, Silver, Crystal. As I said, lots of changes. Really minor changes to the script, but still nice touch nonetheless. So his name, as I said, Silver. Couldn't name him anything, but whatever. Silver is his name, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Anyway, now that this whole Silver storyline arc is out of the way for the time being, it's time to... Nope, not quite yet. We have to come back to it just one last time for old time's sake. Will you just go away? Thank you. Your outfit looks like it was designed by a 5-year-old on Red Bull. Anyway, now it's time to hand him the mystery egg, which should be at least some minor consolation for his Cyndaquil being gone. And, still it's just an egg. He said at the beginning, too, that Mr. Pokemon tended to send him a lot of eggs. Okay, so, well, he might as well not let all that go to waste, especially since I went through the trouble of giving it to him. And he just noticed that Professor Oak gave me a Pokédex, so apparently I'm really hot stuff for that. I knew you were a little different. That could mean a lot of things, but, I'm gonna take it as a compliment. I'm not gonna take it like he just called me a retard, because after all, apparently, Professor Oak giving you a Pokédex means you're really awesome, even though he has only seen me for all of 30 seconds, never saw me fight, anything like that. So, whatever. Now, Elm is sending me on my quest to defeat the 8 gyms of Johto, which is apparently a lot more than 8 for each region in the anime, but whatever, this isn't the anime, this is something that's actually good, so I'm gonna heal my Chikorita, and afterwards, now I gotta No, I don't want to heal my Pokemon again. Now I'm supposed to head to Mom's house to settle a few things before setting out on my journey, but not enough time to do that, so I'm gonna get that covered next time.